Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, and Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 165 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. And sorry for the late start, everybody. But we had some technical difficulties with our guest. And honestly, we're still having them. So our guest was supposed to be Alias O'Clarion today. And he's been having trouble getting into the lobby. We're not sure what's happening, but he's going to keep trying. But if he can join us, then that's great. If not, we're just going to have to keep on trucking here. But if we can't get him on today, we'll get him on in a future episode. So we'll figure it out. But hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Scott Dion Brown, and I'm joined, as always, by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy. The one, the only.
Regine Alaina, happy Sunday, everyone. It's nice to be back after a week of not being here. It's weird when I'm not on the show. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Whenever the few times that we've had to miss the sit down, it's always like, then when you come back, it feels like it's been so long.
But it's only been a week.
Yeah. But you were at the last episode, I said that you were hosting a virtual pageant, but that's not true. You were judging.
I was judging the second annual Grateful Givers virtual pageant. It was amazing to see all the girls from different parts of Canada, and then some of them are returning from the first year, which I was a judge for as well. But with that being said, congratulations to Jewel for hosting an amazing virtual event. They did interviews, they had optional talents, they had essay writing. There's a lot of essays. I felt like a teacher, but Jewel's also a teacher, so that's probably why. And congratulations to Mary Lou for winning last night.
Woo! So the event went well. Yeah, I remember you were mentioning the essays. So you had to read these candidates' essays and
yes,
mark them.
So they actually had to write a number of essays. So they got to pick which topic they wanted to talk about. So whether it be beauty, pageantry, community service. And then there was a whole community service aspect to it. So talking about what they've done in their communities and volunteerism. And so that was another essay. So that was 2 mandatory essays. And then they had optionals for talent, optionals for runway, so it was fun.
Wait, optional essays or
no? Sorry, optional talent video submissions.
Oh,
so they had the choice if they wanted to do talent and if they wanted to do runway, and scholarship was another one as well.
I see. Okay, well, that's not so maximum 2 essays per person you had to look at.
Yes, and there's 12 of them, so that's 24 essays.
It's a fair amount of it is like marking
a full class.
Yeah. But you got through it, and it sounds like it was a fun and successful event. So there you go. And now welcome back, Regine. Welcome back.
Thanks.
So I think our guest might I'm being told that he's on, but I don't see him in the control room yet. But we'll see if we can find him. But in the meantime, people, we have a lot to talk about. For starters, so I watched the movie Encanto yesterday.
Finally.
Yeah, and Well, because I watched it because was it yesterday in stream? Was it yesterday you popped into the
Friday.
stream, Regine? Friday, right? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't stream on Saturday, so it was last stream Friday. Two people in the stream were talking about how they were obsessed with Encanto and they kept watching it. And we were kind of talking about Disney stuff. And then Regine popped in and said hello. And she mentioned that she was been watching Encanto. I'm like, okay, I got to watch Encanto. So I finally, yesterday, I watched Encanto.
Okay, so for those who have watched Encanto or have heard the song We Don't Talk About Bruno, and then have seen Scott's covers of I'll Make a Man Out of You or all his other covers, leave a comment down below if you think he should do his own rendition of We Don't Talk About Bruno. No pressure, Scott, but I think
the
it'd
only
be great.
problem, I think I would do it. The only problem I think is that there are multiple like actors in it. So like basically the entire cast sings the song, right? Like they go around.
But you also did Mulan, and there were
I did all the
multiple
voices.
characters. So what
That's
difference
true.
does it make?
Well, I was just thinking in more volume because like in I'll Make a Man Out of You, you know, Mulan, for example, has one line. His character has one line, you know. Hope he doesn't see right through me. But will it sound good if I sing like an entire verse like that? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be against doing it. I'd have to look at it more closely. I mean, I've only watched the movie once so far. And
I've watched it 3 times.
yeah, you're a big fan of it, right?
Yes. You know what I've also watched a million times, Scott? The pageant sit down when your anniversary.
Yeah.
Shout out video, which I put you in as last because I was like, you know what? Just end it off with
I'm the finale. That's right. Yeah. In fact, I should say congratulations, Regine. The congratulations are in order. The pageant sit down, Regine's show on her channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to Regine. Link in description. The pageant sit down turned 1 year old this past Wednesday.
Mhm.
And there's big changes, right? You now have a co-host.
I do. I have my own co-host. It was one of those things that I think we talked about it on here where there's sometimes just dead space, dead air, and I'm like, or there's a guest where I wish spoke more, and then I end up speaking to myself. So it was nice it was just a conversation Liz and I had. We were like, hey, do you want to be my co-host? And she's like, sure. And I'm like, all right. And then here we are.
You needed a you.
I did.
Yeah.
Or a you. But I
Or
don't know if you wanted to do. I don't know
But
if
yeah.
you wanted to do the pageant sit down.
Well, I mean, I feel like I would my knowledge and things, like I feel like I would run out of thing. Like I don't have a very vast, you know. Well, I've been in one. I've hosted several, but I feel like in terms of if I was choosing an ideal co-host, I don't think you could do much better than Liz. So there you go.
And she's watched every episode, and she was one of my soundboards. You were another one of them. So it's nice to have her on.
She's been training for this for a long
She
time.
has.
Even before she knew she was.
It started
Yeah.
when she started watching our show back in 2018.
Jeez, 2018. Yeah, I guess so.
I just thought about that as I said it out loud. I'm like, wait, we're in 2021.
It's because the whole year, this pandemic ate all the years, but
Oh my god, I think we're in 2021. We're in 2022.
I know. 2022. Oh yeah, but yeah. So then I was part of this video that. So you had a whole bunch of past guests all sending like a congratulatory message in there, and it was nice. I enjoyed watching it, seeing all the guests you've had on. It's been a wild ride. What's something you've learned, Regine, running the show?
I've learned that your job is a lot harder than I thought it was. Like here I am making fun of you off air when you start talking to yourself, which I have to apologize because I do it to myself now too, where I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna hit this button. I'm like, oh my god, I turned it to Scott. And I've also learned that, and I thought about it last week on air actually, that I have interviewed 70 people, at least 70 people within the year.
It's a huge chunk.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It is. And they're all from different parts of the world, literally coast to coast in Canada, UK, Wales, all over the US. I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. To think I started off with interviewing Bea to now 70 people. Oh, you're one of them too. So
I am one of them. But yeah,
crazy.
it's quite an accomplishment, Regine. And I'm excited to see how the show grows, and I want to see what Liz brings to it as well. Because I do find, I mean, a one-on-one interview is good, but I find as long as the company is right, I find adding a few more people into podcast type scenarios, it seems to add something. There's a point when it becomes too many. Like, I don't know if more than 5, it starts to get messy because people start to talk over each other, and there's always going to inevitably people get left out. But I think if you get to, there's a certain size where just a group of people chatting, I think there's something in there that's entertaining.
I don't think I'll ever get to that point of 5 people
yeah.
at a time. Maybe I think the most would be 4. So it would be, say, for example, if it was like another mother-daughter duo, it would be myself and Liz, and then those 2, and then that'll be it because my computer can't handle that.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, anyway, congratulations, 1 year.
Thanks.
Yeah. I also wanted to give so again, we were talking about Encanto. So
yes, sorry.
I liked it. In fact, there are several things that I really liked about it. Like, I guess we shouldn't give any. Oh, back here, there's Thomas. What's up? Welcome to the stream, Thomas. Hello. We were just talking about Encanto because I watched Encanto yesterday, Thomas, and Thomas was one of the people who was mentioning Encanto. There are parts that I found genuinely really wondrous. Like there's the scene when who's the kid who
Antonio.
Yeah. When Antonio gets his door, and then he's like riding around on the cheetah, and there's for me that it was a moment of genuine wonder. Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I was a kid watching this, I would be hooked on that.
I'd be terrified if I was Antonio and all these animals came towards me. I'd be like,
But he can talk to them. He knows. He
understands it. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I thought that was a really cool moment. And then there were several moments that were very emotional that I was like, oh yeah, this is hitting me right here. But there's some parts that the pacing of the movie felt a little weird. And also it kind of felt a little unfocused. Because I'm thinking of the overall what it wasn't that clear to me, for example, that
wait, no spoilers.
Yeah, I guess so. But it wasn't that clear to me, for example, that the grandmother, the leader of the family, they didn't really establish that she was putting pressure on people. And so suddenly when you reveal that the sisters are under a lot of pressure, it's it wasn't that clear and then at the end it was oh wait, but so what's the problem? Was it that Mirabelle needs to show her thing, or that they have there was just a whole it seemed a little confused at the end, and I was just it doesn't feel super clear to me.
That's just you, Scott.
What it's about.
You know what? There's actually a bunch of people online, on TikTok and Instagram, who are dissecting. Is that even the right word to use? Dissecting each character. There's a trauma therapist who goes through each character and literally talks about these people oh, this is so and so, and this is why da-da-da. And I'm I just want to enjoy the movie. I don't need to dissect each character. But now every time I watch the movie, I'm going to think, oh, this is Abuela's issue, or this is Luisa's problem. I'm yeah, why did I watch this?
Yeah. No, yeah, I understood that part. I understood how oh yeah, the casita. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Yeah, and she's saying she never got her gift. Yeah, I understood that part. My point was more the.
Wow, spoiler.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think there were. I feel like there were multiple things happening, so that it wasn't that clear to me what was the cause of the magic being in trouble and why it I mean, I guess I get it in general. It just felt a little confused. just felt a little confused. That's all.
You're just a confused person.
I am. Well, let's say I was confused. Yes, that's the thing. You're right. Maybe the movie wasn't confused. Maybe I was confused.
Maybe. I was. It's like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say I actually I don't know what I don't think I was gonna say anything. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you know, what movie I was confused in? Eternals. I was so confused when I watched it. Have you seen it?
I have seen Eternals.
Oh yeah,
and,
you fell asleep.
I fell asleep, and you know what's funny? I watched it again. So because I watched it in theaters, and genuinely, I don't know if I've ever fallen asleep in a theater. So Eternals might have been the first time I fell asleep in a theater. But I watched it again because my girlfriend hadn't seen it, and like I'm like, oh, do you want to see this? She's like, I mean, you know, she wants to see it because, you know, you want to see what's happening next in Marvel or whatever. And we watched it, and I fell asleep at the same point again, and woke
Which
up
point?
again. There's like this middle part. It's right around when they're all eating.
Yeah, I
They all
can see
sit
why you
down.
fell asleep there.
Somewhere in there, like when they're kind of like explaining a couple, like they're just talking.
Yeah, I love that you fell asleep at the same part though.
Yeah. So there's this like I think it's only for a few minutes, but there's this like middle portion where I know I missed something, but like it didn't affect the plot, but I know I missed something. And yeah, it was. Yeah, was that movie confusing? You know, my issue with Eternals was that it was just kind of boring, like pacing wise. I thought the ideas were cool, right? Like I don't think it's a bad movie, and I think creatively and like, you know, it was kind of different from what we're seeing in the other Marvel movies. You know, they were trying something else, but I think they did a couple things that they shouldn't have done. One, I think they introduced too many characters. I don't think there was any reason to have that many characters. It's like you basically almost had as many characters as you're introducing in, I don't know, Endgame or something. You've got that many leads, but you're going to try to introduce them all in one movie.
Yeah.
And so nobody really got their time, and then it was just kind of boring. You know, what can I say? It was just a little bit boring. So.
No, I totally feel you. I mean, it's interesting because we were talking about Encanto, we were talking about Eternals, and it all came out at the same time as Spider-Man. And you have not yet seen Spider-Man.
I still haven't seen Spider-Man.
So no spoilers, but out of the three, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man got the most hits. And if it wasn't if it wasn't for Encanto going straight onto Disney Plus, it probably would have not gotten as much views and excitement as it has because of that. Like, if you look at Raya is a great movie, but it's very underestimated, underviewed because it wasn't, I don't know.
Raya is that dragon one or something?
Yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon is a great movie, but it's not seen as highly as Encanto because it wasn't as publicly out there, I guess. If that makes any sense.
I'll have to watch Raya again. Oh, Thomas says he's watching Encanto right now again. There you go. Thomas is all in on Encanto.
After the show.
He's doing both. I think he's doing both. That's the magic that you can. He's got multiple screens. I'm probably gonna have to watch it again. My other issue with it is like, I know everybody. I wasn't that like I don't find the music that memorable. I'm not like the movie ends and I can't remember any of the songs except maybe we don't talk about Bruno. I mean, I guess that one is that line particularly, but other than that line, I can't really remember anything else.
So if you listen to the soundtrack in Spanish, it sounds so much better. I'm just gonna put it out there to all those who are curious. Listen to the soundtrack in Spanish.
Like the words work better.
It's just prettier. I don't understand Spanish, but because I know the English songs, I'm like, oh, this is actually really nice.
Yeah. I think what I find about, and I feel this way a little bit about Lin-Manuel Miranda in general, is his lyrics are very wordy. Like I didn't mind it so much in Hamilton, but although Hamilton has some of the same problems in that there's a couple songs in there that I remember, but most of it I don't. It just kind of all feels like what it is. I feel like he uses the lyrics he has a lot of exposition happening in the lyrics. So like the people are like talking to each other in the songs, like through the songs.
Mhm.
And I feel like it overdoes it a little bit. So maybe that's why it's hard for me, because it's not catchy, because I'm like, it's like I'm watching dialogue. So they're like, I'm picking up my coffee and I'm putting it here and I'm taking a sip of it and I'm putting it, you know what I mean? It kind of feels like
Yeah.
that. And I think it affects the catchiness, because I'm trying to think like other musicals, like say Beauty and the Beast, for example, which is my favorite, and I think the music is amazing. But I don't think
Which version?
the original, the
Okay,
original,
just checking. I just
obviously,
checked
yeah,
it. I had to clarify.
yeah. But generally speaking, the songs, even if they're like wordy songs, usually the songs don't. The songs, the ideas that the songs communicate tend to be fairly simple ideas. Like
Mhm.
they're like Kill the Beast is basically the song about, okay, we're gonna go and go kill the beast. You know, that's the whole thing. So even if you kind of missed the song, you still aren't lost in the plot. And that, so they kind of just make sure the song is its own sort of contained thing. And maybe that
Mhm.
makes it more catchy. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't thought this out that clearly. All I know is that I don't find the music to be as good. But
You know what I think? Now that you say that, I think with Encanto, the music is very musical-esque. Like you mentioned,
yeah,
like it's very conversational. Like every single song, there are more than one person involved in it. And I
yes.
love that. Maybe it's because I love Disney and I like musicals, so you put them together and you have Encanto.
But I can't think of any song in Encanto that's better than something from Little Mermaid.
Um,
Like Under the Sea, or part of your world, or even the one when the witch is singing and takes her voice.
mhm.
Like those things. Like I'm thinking of all the, and
Poor
maybe obviously,
Unfortunate Souls.
yeah, Poor Unfortunate. Like obviously, like I've seen these movies more, so maybe that's going to be a bias. Like maybe if I watch Encanto many times, it'll fall in the same thing. But like I can think of all the classic Disney songs, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
thinking Beauty and the Beast. There's like 5 or 6 like really catchy songs in that. Aladdin has a ton.
Yeah.
Lion King has a ton. I Just Can't Wait to Be King. You know, the Circle of Life. You know, they're just they're on a higher level
I
than this one.
I agree, but I also really do like Encanto and I really like their music and I really like Thomas. Well, he's got a long name, but I do like his comment.
Oh, yeah. Thomas is not gonna lie. Regina Lena looks like Isabella a lot. There you go.
Well,
Wait, which
thank
one was
you.
Isabella again?
The perfect daughter.
Oh, Thomas. There you go. The perfect daughter. That's what
You know
Regina
what?
looks like.
Okay, can we just talk about that for a second because it's really bothering me. So there, I have to put my laptop away. So there are people who are saying like, if you look at, I guess merchandise is already out for sale for Encanto. So there is Luisa, who is the strong daughter, who
Yeah.
carries all the burden. There is Maribel, who is the main character, and then there's Isabella. So there's the three daughters. Why is it that Isabella, who is the perfect daughter, is the one who is being pushed to all the other little girls out there, and two is the most sold out? Are you
Interesting.
trying to push for your daughter to be this perfect person? I personally would want a Louisa or a Maribel doll. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just me, but I've seen it everywhere, and I'm like, why?
Well, wait, but so one, you're saying she's being pushed the most, but she's also the most sold out.
Yeah,
So that what
like
you're
this
saying is
this
that's,
vision of this perfect daughter is now being
yeah.
portrayed onto, or
But
whatever
you're,
the word is called, to these little
yeah.
girls.
But the interesting thing is not just that. Like I would agree. I mean, it could be a problem, and surprisingly, Disney is pushing her the most. But it is also something to note if people are buying it the most, because that says that that's not just necessarily that Disney is pushing it, but also it seems to be what people want.
But do you want your daughter to try to be this perfect person? Like, I understand in the movie she has these realizations that we're not going to spoil, but it's
Yeah.
just like, it's just that idea of the perfect daughter is the one who is sold out.
It's yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I guess if you were to look at it like kind of in the terms of all the other, Isabella looks the most like
Me,
your
apparently.
tradition.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. But she looks the most like your traditional Disney princess, right? Like you
Yeah.
could sit her next to Jasmine or Ariel or Belle, and she looks just like, you know, that highly stylized sort of beautiful Barbie type of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other sisters are purposely designed not to look like that. I mean, it's interesting because Isabella's characters, she's kind of in a way almost a critique of the traditional Disney princess, because it's like she's portraying this perfect thing and she feels the pressure to be this perfect thing, but it's putting a lot of pressure on her. But I mean, what does that say about society when you have that's the one that people purchase?
Exactly. Like, I like Dolores too, the cousin that hears everything. I like her too. You know, like I don't know. I like all of them, but it just bothered me that I like seeing it on social media, how much people were gravitating toward this perfect child.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I'm not sure what that, well, what does it say? What does that say about people?
You tell us, people who are buying these dolls. Why Isabella? Why not Luisa? Why not Dolores? Or
Thomas says, no, she didn't want to be perfect. It was just her role to be perfect. So when Isabella got her gift,
her to be perfect.
It was to grow flowers and be perfect. Yeah. And then she felt the pressure to be perfect, because the truth is nobody's perfect, although except in their own way, everybody's perfect. Right? And then she realized that she can't just grow flowers. She can grow all sorts of things.
Wait.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
I caught you there. No.
Well, it's too late. I already, you caught me, but I already spoiled. In fact, we've had a bunch of spoilers. I'm sorry, everybody, if you haven't seen Encanto. Mind you, even everything we've said, you should still watch the movie. Like, I don't think we've said anything that it's like, oh no, now you don't need it. Like, I think visually and like, it should be experienced. I do recommend it. I recommend it.
Oh, I always recommend it.
Yeah. I don't think it's on the same level as Beauty and the Beast, but then again, nothing is.
Because Claudia has a crush on Belle, let's be real.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. She is my favorite Disney princess. But as a movie in general, I just like everything about it. I think the writing is good. The music is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the characters are great. Now, do we have...
Is our guest here?
I don't know. He's saying he's in a room, but I don't see him in our room.
I don't either.
Where is he?
He is in somebody's room. That sounds weird. He's in somebody's room.
Yeah, so we are supposed to have a guest today. And
We just don't know where he is.
Well, I think he made his own. I think he made his own room.
How does that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, message him. He's made his own room. He's supposed to join our room.
Yeah, he did make his own room.
Yeah. Okay, hang on, let's quickly message him. Are you messaging him?
Yeah, go do the ad.
Oh yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna try to get this sorted out, but in the meantime, we got to do our ad break because we are at roughly the halfway point. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of The Sit Down, this Disney-centric episode of The Sit Down, which I honestly have no problem with because I like Disney, and so does Regine. But this episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. And in these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East, Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. And we have an amazing deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
We do. If you go into the store and let them know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll receive 15% off your entire purchase. Sorry,
That's
I
right.
can't multitask.
That's right. 50% off. 15%. Go into the store, mention the show, tell them Scott and Regine sent you, and get a great deal off a beautiful selection of items. They specialize in custom-made jewelry, but they also have a beautiful selection of already manufactured goods from a wide range of jewelry makers. Check them out and find out more at jewelryforever.ca. Also follow them on TikTok. They post a lot of very, very interesting videos on there about jewelry making process, the repairs that he does. Check it out. They're worth checking out. Look them up, Jewelry Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad, that's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do the show live every week, people. And we do the ads live every week. What does that mean? It means that you can personalize it week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time, particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's an amazing way to build a new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, radioshowad@gmail.com. And we're back. Cookies, can you say hi replay? I guess.
Hi, replay.
Hi replay. Hello, Cookies. We're back. We've been talking about Disney. We've been talking about Encanto. If I had to give it a ranking, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, I think
A
so.
7.5 out of 10.
That's a good rating. That's a B+.
You and I can no longer be friends. Moving on.
Well, because if you imagine that like Beauty and the Beast is a 10, right?
Okay, but here's the thing. Stop comparing the new movies to the original Disney movies from the 90s.
Why?
That is not fair.
Why isn't it fair?
Because it's a whole different era of Disney. You know that no, stop it.
I think you have to compare it because Disney, it's the same name, right?
It doesn't matter.
Disney is competing against itself always.
Okay, you can compare Encanto with Frozen. Okay, do not compare Encanto with Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Mermaid. That's not fair.
But that's because you would agree that all of those other ones are better than Frozen.
Of course, because they're classics. No, I do like Frozen, but I'm just saying they're classics. But Frozen is now this new era of Disney, so I feel like it's most comparable to that.
I would agree, but I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't compare.
I don't compare classics to new Disney movies.
I think you should.
That's not right.
Well, because I don't think necessarily I don't even think it's because they're classics. Because like there are older movies than those kind of 90s, early 2000s era that are not as good. Like I think they peaked at that time. The best they ever created was in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Nope.
So Thomas says, Scott, you don't know movies. Leave the sit down. Maybe you're right, Thomas.
I also want to apologize to all those who had probably hurt their ears when I said what.
No, I think it's accurate because, for example, like Toy Story.
But Toy Story is on its own,
yes,
franchise. You can't you can't hate on Toy Story, and if you do, I will leave the sit down.
Yeah, Toy Story is incredible, and the thing
Have
is,
you watched
Pixar.
The fourth one? Sorry.
I've watched the fourth one.
That's the last one.
Kind of what happens in the fourth one? I think I've seen it, but I can't remember.
The one with Forky.
I have seen the fourth one. It's
Okay.
good. It's not as good as the earlier ones.
No. But it made me cry.
but it's good. It's good. What else?
Sorry.
So I would say I'd give Frozen like an 8 out of 10. So that makes sense.
Bye.
Encanto is right underneath. Frozen is at an 8. Encanto is a 7.5. Because I don't know, is Encanto better than Frozen?
I think so, but that's just my opinion.
You know what? Encanto might be as good as Frozen. My
Have
issue
you watched?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
I was gonna say my issue with Frozen was that I didn't feel like their world building was enough. Like it very much felt like there's the village, and then there's just the castle over here, and it didn't feel like this place existed in any actual world that exists. Whereas previous Disney films, I don't know, it felt like I don't know, in Aladdin, Agrabah felt like a real place, you know, in Beauty, like it felt more like like the world was real. Frozen to me felt very much like this is just here, and then the entire world is these two places. It just didn't feel like it made any. Yeah. So yeah, that's my issue with Frozen, but.
I think for Encanto and like say for example Canto and Raya, I think the reason why I have I put them on such a high pedestal is because the amount of representation in those movies. As an Asian girl growing up, now being able to see that, right? Like, what's his name? Thomas just said, I look like Isabella. So to have someone say that to me as a young Disney kid, like if I was a little girl, I'd be more inclined to watching something like Encanto because you do see the representation. You see, like, have you seen, I guess in, like, okay, for example, Princess and the Frog, right? When that movie first came out. The first colored Disney princess, oh, well, you have Jasmine, just kidding. It's like the first.
And Mulan.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's the first Black princess. And that created so much hype. And then you brought on Encanto where you have all these different features, different colors, different body types, different personalities, and it was just like, I think that's why I put it on such a high pedestal. And same with Raya. Raya is the first time that you actually see Filipino culture in a Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that's good, but the level of representation doesn't make it like that doesn't have any impact on whether the movie's good or not. I
know, but I think that's why to me I put it on such a high standard as. So you
okay, I guess that makes sense. I just don't do that. Like if
I do.
That's what I'm saying. Like so if like for me if like you could, because almost then from that rationale you could just make a horrible movie, but if you have like a lot of ethnicities in it, then that like makes it.
That's fair. You can't. Let's find Disney to make a terrible movie on different ethnicities. But I'm just saying, I think that's why for me I put it on such a high platform because.
Makes sense. Well, I think So I see because it's like you said, seeing yourself reflected. It affects you in a way.
It's about time, actually, Disney, that you do that. Like Afro Latina people are now in this movie, and it's great. And you get pictures. Like I've seen it all over social media, where my friend's son saw Antonio and was like, "Oh, it's me." Not you, but it does look like you. You're right. Like, and so I guess now for this new generation to actually see themselves in Disney and on TV is nice.
That's true, and I guess the real question will be, the real test will be in like 10, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are those kids going? They'll probably look at the movies coming out now as like the way we look at the earlier classic ones. Yeah. But the real question will be like, will they hold up in the same way? Because I still believe objectively they're not as good the films themselves are not of the same quality, and the music is not of the same quality.
Whatever.
And so I
I'm
think
just
that's
kidding.
why. But I think that's why I'm just wondering, like, how will history remember them? You know, like, I don't know. The genie in Aladdin is so, and they've never been able to replicate that. Even in the movies that came after it, like, I remember I watched a video on YouTube. Somebody did like this coverage of how, so before Aladdin, all the voice actors were not famous actors. They were famous in the sense that they were famous voice actors, but like,
Yeah.
you didn't know who the person who played Belle was, or who played the Beast, or but the genie was like the first character that was specifically written with Robin Williams in mind. Like when they were creating it, they hadn't even cast Robin Williams,
Oh,
but
wow.
they purposely wrote it hoping that they would get him, and then they were able to get him.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of started them down this path of like, oh, that everyone loved like having this famous comedian come in and be this character. So that's why they kept trying to replicate it, which is why like you had almost every Disney movie after that type of sort of comic relief character, they try to get somebody famous. And then that also kind of started this trend of getting big name Hollywood actors to come in and do the voices, and which is why now that's kind of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't used to be the norm. And so anyway, I'm told that story, but I can't remember why I was telling it.
Because no one can replace Robin Williams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's that. Yeah. I guess what the point I was trying to get at is that they hit something magical in that moment with Robin Williams, and even in the films like that came immediately after it, they never really got something like that again, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's almost similar to now. It's the same thing with that era of films. They hit something really magical, that whatever 10-year or so period. And I think it's just really hard to get back there. So, I don't know. But I still liked Encanto. I recommend it. It's good. And like I said, there were moments of genuine wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth watching. But okay, fine. If we're sticking to like current era, Coco is the best of all of those.
I was just thinking Coco. I was going to ask you if you were to don't compare the two, because you can't. They're on two different spectrums.
Coco is
I liked Coco.
In fact, I could argue that Coco is, if not as good as the ones from the 90s, it's got to be right up there. Like if I put all the 90s ones at 10s, this Coco's got to be a 9.5. Because the music the music is really good. The pacing is great. The world built. Coco is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, I know you covered Coco.
And I cried watching Coco.
Me too.
Coco's great. Coco's better than Frozen.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
You can give Coco a 9.5, but you give Encanto a 7. Ooh, Scott, you're in trouble.
Yes. I do not. It may be controversial, Thomas, but the reality here is that I am objectively right, and everyone else is wrong.
I'm just going to leave it as thank you, Thomas, for making me feel special today. Scott, goodbye. No, I'm kidding.
Because Regine looks like Isabella. There you go.
There you go.
But no, I think I'm right about that. I don't think 7.5 is that bad of a rating. Like it's not like a 5 or a 4 or a 2. It's still a good movie.
Raya?
I haven't watched Raya yet. No, I watched Encanto because everybody on stream was recommending Encanto, so I watched it, and I'm glad I did.
You should watch Raya. It's not on the same level, for hands down. It's not on the same spectrum of all these movies, but there's no music in it. It's not a musical.
Oh, it's just like a film. It's just a film.
Yeah, I liked it.
I will check it out.
Just saying.
You know which one I want to see coming out is Turning Red.
Me too. I think you mentioned it to me before, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I finally saw a preview of it. I'm like, I want to watch this.
Well, it's set in Toronto.
I know, that's cool. It's like Bao. Bao is based in Toronto.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You see the CN Tower.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it
feel like-
again because
I feel like
watched
Bao
but I
was.
didn't see that.
Let me just Google. I'm pretty sure Bao had like Chinatown and like streetcars in it. The TTC.
I'll have to watch it again. I can't remember. But anyway, I mean, I don't know if Turning Red is going to be good, but it's just cool to see. You know, maybe this is the argument you were just making about like the representation thing. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm seeing my city in the thing.
See?
But that being said, if it sucks, it sucks. Like I don't care. I don't care if it's in my city. I'll be like, okay, well that's cool, but you made a bad movie. You know what I mean?
I'm literally Googling right now, guys. Is
if Bao
based
takes place in Toronto?
Does Bao take place? First off, to those who are watching, I know Lunar New Year is just around the corner. So happy New Year.
Yeah, that's right.
Since they're talking about Bao.
Happy Lunar New Year. Does that mean there's going to be... Wait, do they... No. Do they have mooncakes at Lunar New Year?
I don't think so.
They would. Lunar. Isn't that... Yeah, lunar is the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have mooncakes? Is that the time? Or is that a different time?
Do you
Get to the bottom of this, Regine.
hang on, I can only type so fast. During Lunar New Year. We don't celebrate Lunar New Year.
But I eat the mooncakes.
The festival is about lunar appreciation and moon watching. And mooncakes are regarded as a delicacy. Mooncakes are offered between friends and family gathered while celebrating this festival.
Good. Love mooncakes. Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
See? Bao is based in Toronto. It's set in Toronto.
Amazing. How did I miss that?
See, I Googled it. Is Bao set in Toronto? It just says, while she won an Oscar and much critical acclaim for her 2018 short Bao, also set in Toronto. Blah, 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 blah.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna have to watch it again because I totally missed that part, which is weird how I missed it as a short. But anyway, I missed that. Okay, so Alieso did not make it. We're gonna try to get him on next week. Hopefully, we'll get the technical issues sorted by then. But okay, since this is just like a movies and TVs episode, Thomas, one of you want me on Brawlhalla? Maybe. I might have to run out right after the stream, but I'll see. Another show that I'm enjoying is Peacemaker, which is on HBO Max.
So what's it about?
Did you see the movie The Suicide Squad?
I think I watched it actually.
The newer one, because there was Suicide Squad, and then there's The Suicide Squad.
Did I watch The Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad is one with Idris. Okay, it's one with Idris Elba and others. Really good. I really like The Suicide Squad. In fact, I would put The Suicide Squad above most of the Marvel movies.
I thought you were going to put it above Encanto. I was going to be like,
it's above Encanto. Yeah, it's definitely above Encanto. Yes, 100%. But really good film. And Peacemaker is one of the characters in The Suicide Squad. And now he's got his own spin-off show that's like starring him. And there's a couple other characters from The Suicide Squad in the show. But it's also written and some of the episodes are directed by James Gunn, who was the guy who did The Suicide Squad as well. And also is the guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh. That's
James Gunn, yeah. So anyway, I'm enjoying it. The first episode was a little bit, about the first half of the first episode, I was like, am I going to like this? But once it settles in, I like it. I'm 5 episodes in now, and I'm enjoying it very much. It's very violent. It's not a kid's show. So keep that in mind. Lots of violence, lots of blood, but if you're looking for something fun, it's good.
Are you watching Boba Fett? Is that even how you say it?
Boba Fett?
Oh, Boba Fett.
Boba.
I don't watch it. Oh, you are watching it.
I am watching it, and it's fine. It's fine. Are you watching it?
No, but I know people who watch it.
Oh, Thomas says I'm turning 14 this June, so I'm fine. Oh, perfect, perfect, Thomas. Yeah. It's not as good as Mandalorian, I'm basically more watching it now to like,
Follow the storyline.
yeah, I will say this. Episode 4 was very good. I really liked episode 4. Episode 5 was good in the sense that there was a lot of cool throwback stuff in it, but in terms of as an episode, I found it a little bit draggy.
How many episodes are there?
I think there's only 2 left. 7 total. So it's worth watching if you're a Star Wars person. There you go.
Just chilly here.
There we go.
There you go. I think
it's,
Baby Yoda is our mascot.
Yeah, it kind of is. Look at that. Good old Baby Yoda. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying Boba Fett, but it's like I'm liking Peacemaker more. In fact, it's almost interesting because in a weird way, like Peacemaker and Boba Fett, they're kind of similar in that both characters are kind of not necessarily bad guys, but kind of like Boba Fett was a bounty hunter. He was kind of one of the villains, or at the very least, like he wasn't one of the good guys in Star Wars. And so they're making the show and they're trying to kind of redeem him in a way that, okay, we like him. So they're kind of setting out to the same goal, but I just think Peacemaker is doing a better job of achieving that. In fact, interestingly, same way Eternals and the Suicide Squad kind of have the same mission, because they're movies, they're introducing brand new characters, a team of brand new characters, and they have one movie to get you to like them and go on, you know? And the Suicide Squad did it really, really well. Like by the end, you really like the characters, and the Eternals, by the end, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
they're fine. Okay. You know,
Scott's
what's
nap
next?
time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I didn't fall asleep in the Suicide Squad. Exactly. So
I still can't get over the fact that she fell asleep in the same spot.
yeah, it must have just been that. There must be. I mean, it's interesting, right? There must be like something about how a certain set of circumstances happening in the film, where it's like maybe I know enough of this already, or this is a little bit slow, and you know, it must all come to a head in that same moment that caused me to be like, I've seen enough, you know.
Yeah.
And then I wake up a few minutes later and I'm like, oh, what did I miss? Oh, okay, I didn't miss much.
Oh, speaking of movies, tomorrow the movie theater is open again. So are you gonna go watch Spider-Man?
Not right away.
Fair.
We'll see. I understand that they're reopening, and I think it's because I haven't really been following the numbers lately. But are the Omicron numbers? I assume they must be. I know that they're projected to go down because they seem to, like we talked about it before, that they seem to say that everywhere that the Omicron has popped up, it's about a month and then they start to fall off. So they must be seeing the same thing here, or at least projecting that's what's happening. So it's probably going to happen soon. But basically for this month, I've been very, very locked down. I had to see a few people for work stuff. You know, and I had to go to a few shops and like buy things, but other than that, I didn't do any social gatherings
Same.
or anything for the whole month.
It's literally been to the point where like because I've also been really busy at work, like I'll be like, oh, the last time I stepped outside the house was Sunday to get air. I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I was just, you know, they were saying, I mean, especially because they said, one, it's more contagious, even though like I know I'm fully vaxxed, I got my booster, and they're saying that people who are fully vaxxed, when they get Omicron, it's very unlikely you're going to have severe things. So I wasn't super concerned about it, but at the same time, when I heard one, it's more contagious, but also it looks like it's going to run its course fairly quickly, I was just like, okay, I'll just kind of take myself out of society for the next little while and come out on the other side. But we'll see.
Hello from the other side. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I figure it's going to start happening soon, that more and more sort of social calls are going to start popping up, right? People will be like,
Mhm.
oh, we should go grab a drink here. Or, oh, you guys got to come over, and we got to hang out. And like, there'll come a point when going, nah, I don't feel, there's going to be a point, and maybe we're already there, where it's like, it doesn't make sense for me to say, no, I don't think we should. You know what I mean? So it's always kind of that, when is the right time? And I guess it's going to be different for everybody. And that's kind of been the problem with all of it, is that it's always different for everybody. Like, inevitably I'll think that I it's a time to be safe, or like not meet up with people, and then there'll be somebody else who's like, nah, it's fine, we should just, and there's
Yep.
always that, like, I don't know who's wrong, I don't know who's right,
Mhm.
but
I feel ya.
I guess I'll just I'll do it when I feel like it's right for me, I guess.
There you go. And this is why we're still not in studio. I'm just kidding. I'm
Why?
just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
If it wasn't for Omicron, I think we would be, for sure, like
Mhm.
in person again. Because I mean, we were
We were
going
so
out
close.
going out again. Yeah, like we were like when I was fully vaxxed, and like when I went to Vancouver, I was in restaurants, and then I went to
Mhm.
Quebec City, and we were in restaurants there because the numbers were so low, and like it was like something like a small percentage of people who were vaccinated were getting sick at all.
Mhm.
It just felt like we had won, and then in sweeps the Omicron, but we'll see. We'll get to the other side. We're almost there.
I will not be bringing this to the studio, so.
That's okay. I actually think I'm pretty sure there's another Baby Yoda over there, so we can add him to the background. So
Perfect.
yeah, we got plenty. We got no shortage of Baby Yodas.
Speaking of Frozen, the Frozen pillow is still in the studio.
Oh yeah. We'll
We're set.
that'll still be there. That'll still be there. Well, oh, and I watched the movie Dune yesterday.
I
you
watched Encanto yesterday.
Dune is it's like a sci-fi movie.
Okay, Scott,
Yeah.
do me a favor. If you were to ask me if I've seen a movie, think about what kind of movie
Yeah, I
it
know,
is before-
Yeah, you probably haven't seen it. Yeah. Well, I'll just
No.
quickly give my review.
Okay.
So right off the bat when the movie starts, I didn't realize it because the title is just Dune, right? Like if you go to like watch it on whatever streaming platform you're gonna watch it on, but when the movie actually starts, it says Dune Part 1. So right off the bat, you realize, oh, okay, this is not the full movie. There's gonna be more, and it's
Yeah.
like it's 2.5 hours long. It's a long movie. And I will say it's a slow burn. It's not like an action-filled movie the way like a Marvel film would be.
Mhm.
That being said, I really liked it. Like I like Denis Villeneuve. He's the same guy that did Blade Runner 2049 and other films. So I really liked it. It's beautifully shot. It stars Timothée Chalamet, and Zendaya is in it.
Oh, that movie. Okay.
Yeah. They're all wearing like fancy futuristic clothes and staring at each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that stuff. My girlfriend was saying after the movie ended that apparently it got some bad reviews because, for starters, when the movie ends, like nothing is resolved.
Because
But-
it's part 1.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? And then
Yeah.
also people complained that Zendaya is like billed as one of the stars of the movie, but she's not in it that much. But I mean, again, I guess I can understand, like, let's say if I'm like okay, I don't know anything about this movie, but I'm a Zendaya fan.
Go watch
And then I go to the-
Spider-Man instead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, but I guess I can understand if I'm just a Zendaya fan and then I go to the movie with the intention of hoping of seeing Zendaya and then she's
Mhm.
not in it that much.
Yeah.
I guess I'd be mad. But because like I don't watch movies that way, I was just like, I thought she was. It's clear to me that she's gonna have a huge role to play in the second film.
Mhm.
But in this one, it's more they kind of build up. I don't want to spoil stuff, but they're kind of she's there, but she's anyway. So Anyway, I highly, if it depends on the type of movies you like, but I really liked it. 2.5 hours. Dune, Dune.
Dune.
Yeah, like
Got
a
it.
sand dune, like on the desert, because it takes place on a desert planet, and so there are lots of
Oh.
dunes. Yeah.
Where'd you watch
So-
it? Where'd you stream it?
I rented it. I paid for it on YouTube, so I had to pay like $6.99 or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like that for like all newer movies. Like I did the same thing. I watched The Last Duel last week, which is a Ridley Scott movie starring Adam Driver and Matt Damon. I actually thought it was really, really good. But same deal. I paid to rent it because I don't know. I was fine with it. I mean, I know if I just waited a few months, it would be eventually like on one of the free streaming services. But if I want to see a new movie now, I always figure it's less than I would have paid in a theater. And these are movies that I wanted to see in theaters. Like Last Duel, I wanted to see in theaters. Dune, I wanted to see in theaters. West Side Story, I actually wanted to see in theaters.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, I want to see it too. But so yeah, I'm willing to pay for those because I don't know, when you go to a movie theater, like you're gonna pay a lot of money, especially like if
So
you
then
buy.
go rent Spider-Man.
In fact, is it available? I don't think it's available yet. Otherwise, I would have. I don't think it's available yet.
Maybe
So
it's
that's
available on like Cineplex.
Oh, maybe. I didn't even think of that. I thought it was exclusively in theaters.
Then don't check Cineplex.
Yeah, no, because I remember. I think the reason that's the case is because I remember Disney got in a lot of trouble. Like didn't who's the star of Black Widow? Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
She sued them, right? Or she threatened to sue. Yeah, she was going to sue Disney because they promised her a theatrical release, and then they just kicked the movie on Disney Plus with no theatrical release. Or was it in sync? Was it both?
I think it was in theaters for a short period of time and then went straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, and that deeply affected like I think part of her contract. She was supposed to get part of the box office, and because it was in theaters for hardly at all, and it was also available on a streaming service. Yeah, I think it was available at the same time. I think that's what it was.
Yikes.
And so because of that, it's like most people didn't go to see it in theaters, and so she sued them. And so I think because of that, now a lot of the bigger films are getting an exclusive theatrical release first, and I think Spider-Man is one of them.
I feel like Spider-Man made their money back, so they can't go in.
Spider-Man's like smashing records, I think.
Yeah.
Like, and not just pandemic records. I think it's smashing. Like, it's just, it shows that if there's enough demand, people want to see it. So.
Okay, I do have to go. So.
Oh yeah, it's 12:36. That's right. Okay. So next week we will hopefully have Alieso on the show, and we'll figure it out. I'm not sure. We managed to get him working. The software that he needs to access was working. We just couldn't get him into this room. We'll do some experiments. But everybody, okay, Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down. We are going live every other week. So not this week, but next week. So stay tuned for that. Link is in the description. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and sometimes Twitter at It's Regine Alaina. And if you'd like to follow my journey to the Galaxy Crown, which is only 6 months away, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Mrs. Galaxy Southern Canada 2022. Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here where you're watching this very video. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. You can also find me on Twitch and DLive, but YouTube's the best place because not only does it have the lives, it has all the other stuff, the music, the vlogs, the how-to videos, the unboxings, the comedy sketches. It's got it all, including my latest video. A lot of you guys already have, but if you haven't yet, please leave a comment on my latest video. 2 of Us by the Beatles, covered by myself and my brother Taylor the Brown.
Happy belated birthday, Taylor.
Oh, that's right. My brother just had his birthday, but there we are, playing some guitar, singing some music. Check it out. Check it out. And yeah, you can also find me on Instagram and Twitter as well. But YouTube is the best place. So subscribe there.
Mhm.
And anything else, Regine? Oh.
If you did come here to watch our interview, we will have him on next week. We're not sure what happened with our stream. Oh, he is not available. What? So unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. So he is available next Sunday. So if you are here, we'll see you next week.
All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thomas, thanks for being here. And yeah, Encanto's fine. It's a good movie. It's fine. It's a good movie. Bye.
Bye, everyone.